Welcome to Geek Fandom Media. I'm your host, Chris, and you guys, it's been confirmed. James Gunn and DC Studios will be at San Diego Comic-Con later next month after the release date of Superman. This is great and exciting news. Now, I'm not too sure what James Gunn and DC Studios has set to reveal at Comic-Con, but I hope it's bangers. I hope it's fun announcements, casting announcements. I am just excited to see DC Studios back at San Diego Comic-Con again. It's going to be absolutely insanity. Now, they're obviously going to be promoting heavily Peacemaker Season 2 because that drops in August. So you could probably expect the entire cast to be there with a brand new, fresh trailer for Peacemaker Season 2. Now, as far as Superman, since San Diego Comic-Con is going to be dropping after Superman, I'm curious to know what kind of post-credit scene and cameo appearances we will actually get for Superman, because essentially that's going to lead into another project announcement. Like if a Wonder Woman shows up in Superman at the end of the film, that would be so damn awesome, you guys. I'm so stoked for Superman the next month and a half. I cannot wait. I loved everything we've seen from the trailers, you guys. I love the marketing for this film has been hilarious to me. I love seeing David Corenswet and, Nicholas Hoult together. They're just two handsome, good-looking dudes, and they really do feed off each other, when they're marketing this film. But I'm really interested in what DC Studios has planned to drop for their slate or their reveal for Comic-Con. And I know, we're kind of in the phase of let's not announce everything so soon, because obviously things happen, writers drop off, directors drop off, actors drop off. So it's kind of hard to juggle. Like, for instance, with the entire slate, when James Gunn officially took over for DC, that he dropped, like, what's happening with that entire slate? So, like, the Amanda Waller series, we have yet to hear any kind of information on that. The Authority film, nobody knows what's happening with that. Paradise Lost, apparently there's a massive update coming sooner than later, confirmed by James Gunn. Batman Brave and the Bold, is Andy Muschietti still attached to that? Who knows? Booster Gold and Swamp Thing, no idea. And that was announced damn near almost 3 years ago, you guys. So like I said, it's kind of hard when when you go to these massive events, you don't want to announce too much, because like I said, unless you have a full script ready to go for each project, that's maybe when you start announcing cast or, directors, things of that nature. But I had to really go over and look at DC's slate. So the next thing we have after Superman is Peacemaker Season 2, which, like I said, they're going to be, heavily promoting that at Comic-Con this year. We have Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which comes out June of next year. That just wrapped filming, so maybe they'll have a full-blown teaser, first reveal, first look at Jason Momoa as Lobo. That would be awesome. I would love to see a first look at Millie Alcock as Supergirl alongside Jason Momoa as Lobo. That would be a huge reveal. Have them come out on stage. That would be epic. So that's a strong possibility. Lanterns is currently shooting. Maybe they have a little teaser ready to go. A first reveal as, Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan. That would be awesome. Look, Aaron Pierre, you guys, I mean, come on. He just embodies Hal Jordan, you guys. Jon Stewart so much. So we could get an official reveal or a poster for Lanterns. I don't think we'll get a teaser. I feel like it's a little bit too early for that for the Lantern series. Or Clayface. Clayface is scheduled to release September of 2026. Now, there's no director attached. I know they had their shortlist, like of James Watkins, but there's still no director of that. We don't know the lead, so there could be a possible announcement for who is going to be actually playing Clayface. And this is set in the DCU, you guys. It's not a part of Matt Reeves and his universe. It's set in the DCU. Maybe we get a potential Batman reveal in Clayface. That would be awesome. But I feel like if you are doing these Batman villains, you kind of have to have Batman, right? Am I crazy to think that? Like, you need Batman. That's like Sony doing their Sony Spider-Man-less universe. Guess what? It didn't work. Yeah, Venom made a couple million here and there, but it ultimately failed, and they canceled everything after Madam Web and Craven, you guys. You need Batman if you're going to do Batman villain films. I am just saying. So, moving on, of course, we have the Batman Part 2, which is still scheduled to release in October of 2027. Is Matt Reeves still attached to that project? It's a possibility. Nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes, but hopefully we get some kind of a massive, huge, ginormous update for the Batman Part 2, because a lot of fans are wondering, a lot of fans are excited about it, a lot of fans just want to see more of what Matt Reeves has been cooking in his world of the Batman. Love the Penguin series. Maybe we get an official announcement that the Penguin season 2 is coming, or a potential new series in Matt Reeves' universe for those DC characters. It's a strong possibility. It could happen. Moving on, Sergeant Rock, potential updates, more delays. Who knows? I'm not really excited for Sergeant Rock. You know, when they announced that, I was like, okay, whatever. That's probably something I'll skip over and pass over, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, because we all know Sergeant Rock got canceled or, you know, indefinitely delayed or pushed back. Who knows what's happening with that? Then we have 3 animated series, you guys, for DC Studios. So you have the Dynamic Duo. That's in pre-production right now. That's like stop motion animation. Really intrigued by that. I feel like that's going to be an awesome thing. And then we have My Adventures with Green Lantern. That's another animated series, or the Starfire animated series. So we could get casting announcements for those voices. But James Gunn did kind of say, you know, for the people who are you know, crossing over to animation, they're going to do their live action stuff. So that would be a massive reveal too. So we'll see what happens with those 3 animated series for DC Studios. And then, like I said, you have the projects that we are still waiting for updates on that were announced when James Gunn officially took over. Like I said, Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, Batman Brave and the Bold, the Waller series, Authority, and Paradise Lost. So what I'm most looking forward to, or hoping that James Gunn and DC Studios actually go with announcements, I would love to see or hear an official announcement for a merger for the Matt Reeves Batman crossing over to James Gunn's DCU. Because I would love to see Robert Pattinson alongside of David Corensway. They're both so drastically different. It works. It works. I would love to see it. That's something I'm still hoping for. Now, if they decide to go, you know, a different route and just do Batman Brave and the Bold, and, you know, the much older Batman, he has a son, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But I would love to see Robert Pattinson in James Gunn's universe, you guys. That would be so awesome. And like I said, we could possibly get, you know, the official announcement for Batman and who's playing Batman and Bruce Wayne. Maybe that's teased at the end of, you know, the Superman film in a post-credit scene. Like I said, Superman is literally, it comes out right before Comic-Con. That would be a massive, massive reveal as well. Or Wonder Woman casting. A lot of fans they want to know what's happening with Paradise Lost. Is that series still coming out? Will Wonder Woman get her own film? So a casting announcement for Wonder Woman seems very likable, especially if James Gunn was teasing it not too long ago that there is something cooking for an update for Wonder Woman. And then James Gunn's new project he's working on after Superman. That is something everybody is intrigued about. You know, is it going to be a sequel to Superman? Is he going to be directing Batman Brave and the Bold? I feel like, you know, if Superman is a ginormous, massive hit, and it's loved critically, it's loved among the fans, it's, you know, making gangbusters at the box office, then I do think James Gunn ends up directing possibly a Batman film. And I want to know what you guys' honest thoughts on that is. How do you feel about James Gunn handling Batman? Because Batman is a very different character than Superman. Batman is a very different character than Peacemaker. Batman is a very different character than the Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, Batman is in his own little corner, you know, and not every director can handle a Batman film, you know. Christopher Nolan did a wonderful job. Matt Reeves did fantastic. I liked elements to what Zack Snyder did with, you know, BVS. Still think BVS in Batman suit is the greatest suit of all time. Dude, it's so frustrating to me, you guys, because that suit was so perfect, you guys. It's so good. It hurts. The Frank Miller style suit, the bodysuit, that whole warehouse scene in BVS, you guys, was just so badass. We've never seen Batman like that in live action before. So seeing that, it was insanity. I'll never forget my first reaction, you guys. Jaw just dropped. I was like, oh my God. Because most Batman films have been more, you know, realistic approach to it. So he wasn't moving the way he was moving in Batman versus Superman. So seeing that shit, I was hyped. I was like, oh yeah, let's get into it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about DC Studios and James Gunn officially going to be attending San Diego Comic-Con late July. Thoughts and opinions. What kind of reveals or casting announcements would you guys like to see DC Studios and James Gunn announce at Comic-Con this year? And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching Geek Fandom Media. Peace.